Hi, my name is Matt from ClickBid, and in this tutorial I want to expand on the last OBS tutorial that I did and show you how you can add more and more to your OBS broadcast and make it even more dynamic and robust. So if you remember, in our previous tutorial I had a scene here that had the program will begin soon, and then I had a video. So let's say you want to add a camera to your video and you want to add a leaderboard to your video, maybe even a sponsor loop. OBS is incredibly easy to use, and once you've created these first two elements, creating more is actually very easy. And notice here that I'm switching between the two by just clicking on the individual scenes that I have, and it's super easy. So you'll notice I created a scene here called camera. All I did was press plus, typed a name, and hit OK. And in this, I'm just going to actually create a video capture device by pressing plus and here video capture device. You have the option of choosing your web camera, or if you have a different camera connected via USB, maybe it's a higher end professional device or so on, and you're maybe recording a host or an auctioneer, you can drop that right in using this device tool. I'm actually not, in this example, going to attach my web camera to this video capture device. But once you do, you can position it, you can crop it, you can do any kind of changes you want to it on this background. And you can also add more elements. Remember in the last tutorial, I mentioned that you have scenes that are full screen elements that you can switch to. Inside of the sources, those are the actual elements that you build on top of each other to make a completed scene. Notice in here I have a background color and a font. This is a layered element of sources that compose an entire scene. So let's say we want to do something like add the leaderboard. If I jump over to my ClickBid admin and then I go to Event Central Leaderboard, I can then choose looping filters, colors, and so on, and I'm going to choose a page background color of black, and let's leave this. You can see here that I've got some options here. I'm showing every visible item, and then I have this leaderboard share link. I'm going to right click on it and choose copy link address, and then I'm going to jump back over to OBS and I'm going to create a new scene, and I'm going to call it leaderboard. And then inside of my leaderboard scene, I'm going to create a new source, and I'm going to choose browser, and I'm going to call it leaderboard. And then I'm going to paste that address right here in the URL. And then I can give it a dimension if I want. In my example, I'm doing a full screen 1920 by 1080 video. So I'm going to press OK, and then it's going to load my leaderboard. And based on the settings I have, it's just going to continue to loop this over and over and over again. Now, I can cut to this anytime I want. So I usually recommend having a scene here that has the program will begin soon. Maybe I add another one that says the program will be right back. Another thing that I would do is I would have a quick little video edited of all of my sponsors. If I have half a dozen sponsors, they've provided their logos, I can just do a very quick slideshow of their logos. I can also use a service like Fiverr.com or Upwork. I can hire freelancers very inexpensively to put together some of these loops for me, so that all I have to do is again go back to this My Video and I can add them as media sources. So what you're basically doing in OBS is you're creating a list of scenes that you want to cut to, building those scenes with individual sources. And really the sky is the limit here. I mean, you can do anything you can imagine, you can probably put together, and you can test it, you can play around to see how it looks, you can jump to that camera again. I'm going to go back to my leaderboard and it's just continuing to loop. And so I'm going to, maybe I'm breaking for a moment to have maybe there's a dinner program or something that I'm doing at a hybrid style event, and I'm going to jump to this leaderboard while everybody's eating, so anybody from home is just going to see the leaderboard. Anything you can think of. This is a great way to you could put this out there and you could tell people to jump online and take a look at the leaderboard. So there's just a lot of different options here, and during the broadcast you can just continue to switch. Now in the last tutorial I did show you how to start streaming. I showed you how to get those preferences set up with Stream, and then Millicast, and the stream name and the publishing token, which we call a key. Key and token are interchangeable. Remember, we got those from the Event Central live broadcast page down here where it says stream name, stream key. And that's really all there is to it. You know, you can, the more ideas you can think of, you can drop them in. You can do, really, these sources can be anything from a browser, a color source. You can capture a second monitor on your computer if you want to. You can do text. You can capture, one or two cameras, and so on. So there's just a lot of different options inside of, if you wanted to play some background music on top of the leaderboard, you could do an audio input, and maybe there's a loop of music that you want to play. So there's just a lot of options that you can have inside of OBS. When you're ready, just press start streaming and then start switching.